between different users. You can differentiate between different users. Now, um, here you can see. So how could now if I do add group, or here you can see not actually. Did I save this? Yes. So here you can see. I am passing no authentication or anything. I'm just saying localhost 8000 groups, and I'm calling it. It is giving fine. I mean, I haven't created it. Let me create it quickly. So now what I want to do was I will create a group called admin. What happened? Improperly created is not valid for groups. In group serialize. Oh my bad. Wait a minute. Let me see what is happening here. Models.model not from base. Okay, my bad. Let me create. Why? Okay, I'll share why this error happened. So what I'm doing was, if I go to the serializers of users on group serializer, what I have done on fields, I'm saying name as well as ID created by and updated by. Use all these fields for serialization. But on group level, we only have name. We do not have created it, updated it, because previously I'm not inheriting from base. I'm inheriting from model.model, which will not have these fields. That's why it gave an error. Now let me rectify it and do base and apply migrations of users module. What happened? Provide one. Okay. Now this Python manage.py migrate users. Now let me try it again. Okay, I haven't start the server. Yeah, I have created a group called name admin. Here you can see I have not passed any authorization. Now I want to restrict only authenticated people, which means if the user is authenticated, then only he should be able to create, what do you say, a group. So are you able to understand what I'm saying? Are you able to come up with it? Any doubts? I mean, haven't explained clearly. I will explain once I get an overview. But up to now, is there any confusion? It's a chart actually. This okay. Okay, let me give you overview and then we'll go in detail again. So if I do this on views, permission classes. I am defining what permissions should we have. Is authenticated means user should be authenticated. Then only he should be able to do this. Now, without authorization, if I do this, here you can see authentication credentials were not provided, which means it is for unauthorized. 401 unauthorized, which means this user is not able to do this action. I am restricting it. So how should I do it? Bearer token, and here you will pass the token that you have created earlier. And now, if you do, you are able to create a new token. Okay, I have created two things. My bad. Okay, I'll delete it. No need to worry. And here also, the same thing will happen for get request also. If you pass not, here you can see we are restricting it. And if you pass the bearer token, we are not restricting it. So this is how we are restricting it. So now this is a sorry. Yeah, sorry. This is the basic overview. Now we will go into detail like what I have done up to now so that you can also do this. If you are doing on your own also, try to follow it. What I am doing. I'll go slowly, but try to follow it. Guys, so yes. So first, what I have done. I have done pip install Django REST framework simple JWT, which is already available, so it is not downloaded for me, but for you if you want to. Django REST framework simple JWT. Here you can. This is the documentation. You can cover whatever you want. Here there are so many things such as uh, yeah, so many customizations if you want to. These are not needed for now, so that's why I haven't done it. So first I have downloaded it. Now I have downloaded one app, I have to tell to Django that use this app, which I am doing via here REST framework simple JWT. Now after that, where is my REST framework? Here I am defining my customization REST framework. For authentication classes, use simple JWT authentication. That's what I have been mentioning here. And this is the customization of simple JWT. For every access token, keep that access token alive for 2 hours. That's what I'm mentioning here. So up to now, is it clear, guys? Any questions? Any questions is fine.
Is it necessary to hello?
Yeah, yeah, please go on.
Is it necessary to like provide that um, like that
Token you're
provide
talking?
that set in settings for
Settings.
JWT? Yeah,
Yes,
this
it is.
REST framework.
Yeah, yes, it is necessary because everything. This authentication is being handled by REST framework. So
Okay,
we have to tell to REST framework that use this authentication class to um, for this. If you don't want to use REST framework, then you have to do a very roundabout way, which is very hard, which we don't want actually. So it is necessary for to define here.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Yeah. Any other questions?
Can we mention default permission classes also there
Yes.
in that settings?
Yes. Yes. You can mention the default permission classes also. Um, so you can find all the permissions. I mean, some permissions from here. REST framework dot permissions, which you will have so many such as uh, is authenticated, is admin user, is authenticated or read only. Yeah, yeah. We can. These are some basic permissions which is provided by REST framework itself. And if you want to, you can use default permission. So what does the default permission means? So by default, all view set should be is authenticated, which means only authenticated user can access that APIs. So to default that behavior, we are using this one, which is default permission classes. If we don't define anything, it will behave in existing manner, which is no authentication is needed. Everybody can access that API. So that is that default permission classes. So is that clear, or you have any?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay. So any other questions? Guys, any other questions? No questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let me go to URLs. So here you can from REST framework simple JWT, which I have installed. Dot views. We are importing two views, which was token obtain pair view, token refresh view. So what does this token obtain pair view will do? It will just create a token based upon the credentials that you give, which you see here. Here you can localhost 8000 port, and I have mentioned it as token as endpoint. So yes, and in the body, it is a post request. Please remember that. And in the body, we are passing username and password, which is stored in the Django authentication system or Django users table, which you have seen. in the DB table. Here you can see this is a Pradeep, and the password will not be stored in the plain format. It will always stored in the hashed format. That's why you cannot see the raw password here. This is a hashed format. This is automatically handled by Django. So if you send this, it will generate a token. Okay, let me run the server actually. Yeah. If you send this, it will generate a token automatically, access and refresh. And you can use this access token to authenticate yourself for whatever the API you want to access. So for that, all this functionality is in this. Sir, do you want to record like this? Okay, this is fine. So now, as you said, right, all this functionality is in this view set only. You need not to worry about so many things. This will handle internally, see like the classes and all. So, and it will give out all these functions, so you need not to worry about it. So you can use this act token to authenticate yourself or to identify yourself in the API request. And this refresh token. So what does it do? You don't want to, what do you say, authenticate yourself again and again and again. So what you will do, you will just pass this refresh token to this token slash refresh. I don't know the exact parameters. Let me go with the documentation. Simple documentation, simple JWT, and I want let getting start. Token refresh. Yeah, here you can see in the yes, whatever I done is correct only. I'm just commenting this out. So for this token refresh, the same body will be refresh, and you have to pass your refresh token. And what is the API endpoint? This is refresh. So if you do this, it will give you a new access token where you can access yourself. So this refresh token also have validity. You can also set that in simple JWT here, which you can see in the documentation. Where is customization? Yeah, settings. Let's say yeah. Here you can see refresh token lifetime. By default, it is 1 day. You can make it so many days. Now let me say what is the use of it. What is the use of refresh token? What is the use of access token? So I hope uh, you guys familiar with Gmail, right? So you log into Gmail, and that's it. Whenever you go into your browser, and let's here also let me just I'll do mail and I'm directly logging it whenever authenticate myself for one time. But if you see after 2 or 3 months, you'll automatically logged out and Gmail will ask you to log in again. Why? Because refresh token was expired, so that you have to authenticate yourself again, so that it will create a new access token and refresh token by itself, and it will use that refresh token to authenticate you again and again for next 2 months. Because at the Google level or at the Gmail level, they have set their refresh token lifetime for 2 days, or sorry, 2 months, so that you need not to sign in again for 2 months. So you can refresh your access token by using your refresh token as I showed you here. So is this clear how we are going to use this refresh token? Any doubts regarding this, guys? Guys, or you want me to explain again?
Can you explain once again, sir?
Sorry.
Can you explain once again about refresh token and access token?
Okay. So let me give a definition about a refresh token and access token. I mean, a general definition, not a book definition. First, whenever you what is access a API request, right? You don't want to sign in again and again and again. You just want to sign in once and use the application, right? So what you will do is we will create an access token for you when you are signing in, and you will use that access token to identify yourself to the backend. So that is the main purpose of access token. So how will we create it? As we saying, right? We have created like this. Let's say I have created this access token. So let me decode it. What does it contain? So based upon this access token, here I see the user ID is one. So I can identify who is the user based upon this access token, right? So that I can give appropriate action based upon the user. So that is the use of access token. Is that clear? Why we are using access token and what
Yes.
is access token, right? So we are using access token as your sign-in credentials, if you say. But this access token is not infinite. I mean, it doesn't, what you say. It does have an expiry time. So here, according to my code, if you go here, which is of 2 hours, which means after 2 hours, if you use the same access token, it will not authenticate you. I mean, it will not able to identify you because this access token was expired. So for that, then you have two choices. One, you can sign in again, or yeah, one we have sign in again. Let's explore the first option. What is the downfall for it? So let's say you are playing a game, right? Playing a game, and you are a very good player, and you are playing for I mean, you are a very good gamer, or you are streaming your games, and you are playing for 6 hours, or you plan to play on 8 hours. So if I put my access token expiry for 2 hours, right? For 2 hours, after 2 hours, you will automatically logged out, or you are not able to, access the API endpoints. That is a huge downfall. You have to log out again, and you have to log in again with your credentials. Then only you are able to access the APIs for 2 hours only. So that is a downfall because yeah, yeah, that is a downfall. Now you may have a question. Why don't we make this token live infinitely? I mean, let's make the expiry time for 10 hours, sorry, 10 years or 100 years. That is one way to think. But we should avoid that because let me say why. So if I go to any, yeah, let me open the network tab. This is the real time thing. If I go to mail, I don't want anything here. Let's say this one. Here you can see, if you go here, uh, there is my then there is no authentication token. It should be there. Let me do it. Let me do it. If I open this, it's a char request URL payload, which is a get post. Okay, they are using different thing. Let me show you another thing, which is UEP dot staging, or wait a minute. If I go in here, right? Yeah, here you can see this is because my token was expired, so it is prompting to log in again. So what I will do, sign in with email. I have some already filled data, not to do anything. So let me refresh it again. So if you see this one, headers, here you can see my authorization token, my bearer token, right? Which means it is visible to anyone. So if I make this authorization token, sorry, Yeah, if I make this authorization token as a infinite time, or it does have expiry date for 10 years or 100 years, if somebody knows my authorization token, they can log in as myself, they can pose themselves as myself and do shady stuff. That's why we have to restrict authorization token to some amount, or we have to make their expiry time for 2 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours, depends upon your application. But mostly it is like 6 hours only. So now that's why we are avoiding this re-authenticate again. Is that clear why we are not re-authenticating ourselves for 2 hours or 3 hours again and again?
So,
Okay, now user to sign again and again for 2 hours, right? So how will we do that? So what we will do is we will create a refresh token. So we will use this refresh token to refresh the user authentication token. Let's say after 2 hours, my access token was expired. Now what should I do? Should I ask user to sign in again? That is a very bad thing. We have already discussed. User don't want to sign in again for every 2 hours. That will really reduce the traffic to our. I mean that is not good user experience. So what should we do? So whenever we are creating access token, which means when we will create access token, we will create whenever user sign in, we will create a refresh token as well. We will create a refresh token as well. This access token is used to authenticate user for API request for everything. I mean, in place of username and password, we use this access token. So whenever this access token is expired, we have to create another access token, right? So instead of asking user to sign in again, we will use this refresh token to refresh our access token. How will we use that? So we will copy this refresh token. There is a separate endpoint for it, which is token slash refresh as defined in our project. It is not what you say static. I have said that token slash refresh is this view. I mean, I have defined this one, so that's why I'm using this token slash refresh. And in the body, sorry, in the body, in path, I am doing this refresh token. So it will create a new access token. My bad. What is happening? So it will create a new access token using this refresh token. So if you decode this access token, which was created by this refresh token, and let's see what does it contain. It contains user ID. Now let's see what does this refresh token contains. Well, but yeah, it is better to show. It is also saying the same thing, user ID 1, and it has an expiry time for what, April 3, 2041, which means exactly 1 day. So by using this refresh token, we can generate so many access tokens until this refresh token is also expired. So why this? Now we have another doubt. I mean, okay. So let's say we have make this refresh token for let's say what, mm, 10 hours. Oh, sorry, 10 years or 100 years. So it will also have the same. So if somebody knows your refresh token, they will create unlimited access tokens, right? So that's why this refresh token will also have an expiry date. But I said, right, refresh token will have what, expiry of 2 months or 3 months. So if somebody found this refresh token, they can pose themselves as you for what you say, um, 2 months, right? But that will not happen usually, because this access token was being, what do you say, this access token was used for authenticate yourself. So it is being publicly available in every API call. If you see here, it will be uep.staging. If you see here, I'm able to see my authorization token, which is my access token. It is just of another name, authorization token. But here I'm not able to see in my refresh token. So refresh token is not, I mean, mostly not publicly available. It will not be publicly available. So that's why it is okay. It is okay to have such some long times. but it should never be okay for 10 years or 100 years or lifetime. It should be even refresh token should have an expiry date. But using this refresh token, we can generate multiple access tokens and use this access token to authenticate yourself. So yeah, so that is the functionality for refresh token. So is this any clear, or do you want any have any extra questions or anything that you don't understand? You can ask again. That is also fine.
Like for access, we have given 2 hours now, so time limit. Or
So for access token,
we have given 2 hours of time. No, sorry.
yes.
For refresh also, have you given 1 day?
I mean, by default, it will take 1 day, but if you want to, you can
Okay.
change it. So for access token, by default, it was 5 minutes. So I cannot use the, I can recreate access token and again and again and again, right? So that's why I make it 2 hours. But refresh token also, you can make how many hours you want. That is also fine. It is all about the developer. I mean, it is depends upon the developer. You can customize it according to your need. So any other questions or something that you don't understand?
Now it's clear, sir.
Sorry.
It's clear, sir, now.
Okay. So what about remaining guys? Do you have any questions?
No doubt.
This is really important topic. If you have any questions, there is no need to feel shy. You can ask. You can ask multiple times also. This is really important topic. So no questions up to now. Creating access token and refresh tokens or
మీ అప్లికేషన్స్లో మీరు జీమెయిల్ అథెంటికేషన్ ఎన్నిసార్లు ఇస్తారు?
sorry sir.
ఇప్పుడు క్లయింట్స్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్లో ఇప్పుడు మనం కొన్ని వెబ్సైట్స్ చూస్తే
Hmm.
దే విల్ అలౌ యూ టు లాగిన్ వయా ఫేస్బుక్ ఆర్ జీమెయిల్ ఆర్ దే విల్ అలౌ యూ టు క్రియేట్ యువర్ ఓన్ యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్.
Yes.
ఓకే, నువ్వు వర్క్ చేసిన ప్రాజెక్టులో ఎన్నిటికీ వాడు బ్యాక్ అండ్ జీమెయిల్ నుంచి లాగిన్ కావడానికి అలౌ చేశాడు?
జీమెయిల్ నుంచి లాగిన్ అవ్వడానికి ఉంది సార్ మాకు కూడా. అంటే ఎవరైనా జీమెయిల్ లాగిన్ అవ్వచ్చు, త్రూ ఫేస్బుక్. లెట్ మీ షో యూ. Sorry, not this one. This one. So heartfulness. But just log out. Here you can see sign in with email, which is our normal thing. Sign in with Google. Sign in with Facebook.
అట్లా
So for this, that is a complex functionality, guys. If you want to learn that, that is where this Django auth toolkit is also, very.
ఓఆత్ టూల్ కిట్ వాడతాము. వర్షన్ 2 కదా?
Yes sir.
ఓఆత్ 2.0.
Yes sir. auth 2.0 ఇప్పుడు వాడతాం. auth toolkit both support చేస్తుంది, auth 2 as well as auth. అది జస్ట్ టూల్ కిట్ కదా. So if you want to, I mean, if you guys want to sign in with Google, that functionality, it will goes, much deeper. You have to use Django auth toolkit, and you have to get familiarized with this Firebase also, to be honest, to store the user details, to extract the user details also, so that you can authenticate them again and again and again. So that is a different concept. But you are free to explore that also, to be honest. If you have any doubts regarding that.
ఫైర్ బేస్ కూడా చేయొచ్చు కదా దాన్ని?
Yes sir, but అంటే యూజర్ డీటెయిల్స్ స్టోర్
అంటే
చేసుకోవడం.
ప్రొడక్షన్ అని కాదు, వీళ్ళు
Okay.
ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకోదలుచుకుంటే
ఎస్ సార్.
వితౌట్ ఫైర్ బేస్
చేయొచ్చు సార్.
వీళ్ళకి మళ్ళీ ఫైర్ బేస్ అంటే అది ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇదైంది. ఫస్ట్ మామూలుగా చేసిన తర్వాత ఫైర్ బేస్ ఎట్లయినా నువ్వు యాడ్ చేస్తే అది వేరే రకంగా వెళ్ళింది కదా.
So, any questions regarding this JW token and refresh token? This is very, I mean, access token and refresh token. So this is very basic and very core, very important topic. Any questions regarding this? People or companies will always assume that you know this in and out. You know these topics. You are very familiar with these topics. People will always assume that you are familiar with these topics and know how these works. So that's why I'm asking again and again. If you have any doubts, any minor also, it is fine. Just ask. So no doubts regarding this refresh token and access token.
No doubt.
Okay, that is so good actually. Okay, that is so nice. Okay, fine. If you really understand, that is well and good. If you don't understand, don't hesitate to ask.
Okay. Pradeep, how many authentications are there for an application?
Authentications.
ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళకి జేడబ్ల్యూటీ పెట్టారు రేపు పొద్దున్న ఎవడన్నా సెషన్ అథెంటికేషన్ జేడబ్ల్యూటీకి డిఫరెన్స్ అని అడిగారు అనుకో.
Yes.
ఓకే. ఎందుకంటే ఇది ఇప్పుడున్న దాంట్లో అడ్వాన్స్డ్ ఉన్నది జేడబ్ల్యూటీ.
అంటే బాగా జనరిక్ చాలా మంది ఇదే వాడుతున్నారు. బట్
అంతకు ముందు
థియరిటికల్ గా తెలుసుకోవాలి.
ఆ డిఫరెన్సెస్ ఏంటి, అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి జేడబ్ల్యూటీ అంటే?
ఇప్పుడు అది
ఇప్పుడు కాదు, నువ్వు తర్వాత అయినా సరే వీళ్ళకి కొంచెం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే అథెంటికేషన్ మెకానిజమ్స్ ఏమేమి. ఎందుకంటే రెస్ట్ ఏపీఐలో అది ఎక్కువ వాడుతున్నారు కదా అది.
ఎస్ సార్, అసలు అథెంటికేషన్ ఎస్. అయితే రేపు ఓకే సార్, అది అది రేపు చెప్తాను. ఈ రోజు
అలాంటి ఏంటంటే సాటర్డేస్ పెడితే కొంచెం వాళ్ళకి ఒకసారి కొంచెం ఫ్రీగానే ఉండిద్ది, ఎక్కువ టైం స్పెండ్ చేయడానికి. ఒకవేళ నువ్వు స్లోగా ఒక్కొక్కటి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసినా
అవి జస్ట్ వెంటనే చెప్పకూడదు, అదేదో చెప్పాలని చెప్పలేదు. అదే
అది కొంచెం సాటర్డేస్ ఆ టైంలో చెప్తే వాళ్ళకి కొంచెం.
ఎస్ సార్, ఎస్ సార్. Okay, sir. So, okay, that we will discuss also. Different types of authentications are there actually. This is widely used currently using this JWT token, but there are so many authentications that you should really need to know of. Yeah, that we will discuss also. That I will keep a note of it actually. Just to give me requirement for basic app. No. Title will be topics to be covered, and one will be different types of authentication. I am showing you guys because I am just assuming that you guys will also have a little reading about this. You should also try to learn yourself. I mean, I will cover the middlewares also. I should do this. These are things. So this I will cover in the next class. Okay, that is also there. But okay, we will see that. I don't want to waste time. So this is fine, right? Now creation of access token and creation of refresh token. Using this refresh token to create another access token. Up to now we have covered it. Now we will see how to use these tokens. Now, so first I will show you how can I access. So REST framework made our lives very easy, to be honest. So let me so this. So this get query set is a helper method, which is a predefined method. So this what this will do. This is also the same as query set attribute, but this have more importance than query set that you have to know of. So I'm just using this function to show what happens. So now print self. Self means this, self, right? And in self we'll have this request. which is our request object. What is a request object? Whenever you are passing this refresh token or anything in the body, it will all this converted into an object. So if I go into this headers, so sorry, in this groups endpoint, this object, I mean this data and this headers and remaining so information, every information that user is passing to the backend, that will be stored in this request attribute. This is very important, guys. Request attribute, and whatever we are passing to the user, that is called response. These are just technical terms. Whatever we are getting from the user, we call it request, and we can access the request via using self dot request. And whatever we are passing to the user, sending to the user, it is called response. So we can access the user by using self dot request dot user. So let me show what happens now. So I am printing it. So I am passing my authorization token. So let me pass. If you see this here, you can see Pradeep. Why Pradeep is happening? Why Pradeep is being the respondent? I'll show you why. Because here on the models, on the user model, I am defining the string representation of the object was what? Self dot username. So let me go here. What is the username of that user? Which is Pradeep. Which is Pradeep. That's why it is showing as Pradeep, right? But if you see the type of this user, let me print the type of user. Let me call this API again. It is not string. It is a user model type, which means I can directly do user dot ID, which will get this corresponding user's ID, which is sorry. Okay, I'm still printing type, which will give the corresponding user ID. User first name actually. I think user has first name. It is just empty string, which you can see in here. Now let me add what is there. Date of date joined. So here you can see why I am doing this. I just want you guys to know that this is not just a string but user object. So we can get all the information regarding user by using this simple syntax. Self dot request dot user will give the user object, and user dot something will give all the operations that can be done on the user. So is this clear how to access user in the API? We are going to have so much things regarding this. That's why I'm saying. So is that clear how to access user in views itself via request object? Is that clear, guys? I really want have fast responses. To be honest, I don't want to waste time just waiting for your responses. I mean, if it is not clear, you can just say it is not clear or any doubts. That is fine. If you don't understand it at all, you can just say that I didn't
Repeat
understand
once
it.
again.
Yeah, sorry.
Please repeat once again.
Okay. So how to access user? Easy. User equal to, let's say here I want to store the user. I will do self dot request. So what is it request? Request is nothing but what user gave to the backend. That is request. If you are sending something to the user, it is called response. So in request only, we will have user. If you print the user, we will have the user. Here you can see Pradeep. But this user is not just a string, but user model itself. I mean, user instance itself. So if I do user dot groups, I can get what are the groups that user have, which is none for now. There are no groups associated for this user. If you go to user, here you can see. Okay, this is just here you can see. Here I have no group actually. So which is none. Now if I do, okay, here user itself is there, right? Now let's try to add user ID. Let's see what happens. Here I'll get the user ID. So I want to say that this user is nothing but a string, but user object itself. So how can we access the user? By using request object, where this request object will be there in self. So self request is an attribute of self. User is an attribute of request. So is that clear?
Yeah,
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Yeah. So now, so I have passing this bearer token. That's why I'm getting this. What if I don't pass anything? Which means not. So what will it return? Let me let me show you. Here it says, by default, if there is no user, it will give anonymous user. That I want you guys to know. And if I do ID, it will give none. So is this clear? If there is no user, we are just saying that it is an anonymous user, and their fields will be none, which are null. Is this also clear? Any doubts?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So now we will restrict. So let's say I want to create a group or I want to list this group. If I have no auth, I'm able to list this, which means even if user doesn't logged in, he's able to see this. So this is a problem for some of the cases. Let's say you are creating an Amazon or e-commerce website, and user wants to buy something. If there is no user, he cannot buy it, right? You have to log in, or no, anything. Let's say yeah, very basic thing. If you want to like a post on Instagram, you have to log in, right? So that user or Instagram will know that this person liked it. If you are not logged in, you should not be able to like it, because like is a basic fundamental, or privilege for user, not for everybody. So for that cases, I mean, in short, if you want to restrict user or restrict anybody, if only if they are authenticated, then only you should be able to do this action. If you want to do that like that, we have to initialize this permission classes. Permission classes is nothing but what sort of permissions that user needs to have to do this action. So for now, what I want to do was is authenticated, which means user should be authenticated. Then only you should be able to do any operation on this group view set, which means listing, creating, retrieve, update, whatever it is. User should be authenticated. Then only he should be able to do these operations. Here I'll see. If I do bearer token and you passing that token as authentication, here you can see where is that authentication is being doing. So it is in the headers. In headers, you can see authorization, bearer space, whatever the token we have given. So just don't think that just because you have passed here, you get the response. You have to pass in headers actually. Authorization, bearer, because this is a type of bearer token. Here you can see bearer token. These many tokens are there. So for now we are using bearer token, and pass the your access token with space. Then only this authentication or authorization will happen in the headers. You can see all these things in headers. And in now if you go, it is happening normally because user was authenticated. Now user not authenticated, which means there is no user authenticated. Here you can see there is no authorization header here. Now see what happens. It said authentication credentials were not provided, means 401 other unauthorized. This status code. Now we have a different status code, which is 401 unauthorized, which means the user has no permission to do this operation. Then we are giving this 401 unauthorization. And there is this, what do you say, 403 forbidden. This is also the same thing. So the difference between 401 and 403 is 401, I don't know the user, so I am not allowing him. 403 is I know the user, but he is not allowed to do this operation. That is the basic difference between 401 and 403. Let me repeat it again. 401 unauthorized is when happen when there is no authentication credentials, which means user is not logged in yet, so I'm not able to identify this particular user, then you will say 401. Let's say, and 403 is used when you know the user, but you know that he doesn't have the permission to do that particular operation, then you will use 403 forbidden. So let me give a simple example. What should you do? Yeah, in the HR management system itself, employee will not have permission to approve leaves, right? Only HR or their team leads or some higher officials will have the permission to approve leaves. In that case, even if employee is logged in, we will give 403 forbidden, which means you do not have the permission to do this type of operation. Now, there is this other thing. Let's say user, okay, employee doesn't logged in. I mean, no user is there, and he wants to apply leave. Who wants to apply leave? I don't know who wants to apply leave, right? So at that time, we will give 401 unauthorized. So is that clear between 401 and 403? I'm using, is that clear very much?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. No questions up to here, right?
I have one doubt.
Yes.
How that bearer token is being created? Like it is automatic or
Sorry, how that bearer token is?
generated?
Oh, this bearer token we are talking about. Okay, this is nothing but what do you say? This access token that we have created earlier. This access token is there, right? I'm
Yeah.
just copying it and pasting it.
Okay.
That is a bearer token, nothing more. It is
Okay,
just
sir.
a fancy term. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that is fine, right? Any question? Is that clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Yeah. So, how we restrict people using these permission classes? What are the permissions required for user to do this action? This is permission classes, and we can have multiple things also. I will, for that I need to add this group action. Okay, this group should go up, and let me add a group here. Group, which will be models dot many to many. Here you can see one person can belong to many groups. That's why I'm using many to many. I hope you know what is many to many, right? I want to add, as it is a many, I want to add groups. Now this is good. Let me Python manage.py make migrations users. Python manage.py migrate users. Now let's go to a user. This is fine for now. Users, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing or not. Python manage.py run server. Yeah, why don't we go to URLs? What is the thing for users? Users only. So let's see the users. I'm sorry, I need to do get. Here you can see groups. There are no groups, right? Now what will I do was I will patch this user to let me comment this up. Okay, I don't need this actually. I want to say groups one. Now I'm saying this group. This person has groups of one. So one means nothing but uh, where is my DB? Yeah, users group. One means admin. I want to delete this actually. Fine. Okay, let me. Yeah, why don't we? Why do delete it or make it patch two, and in body? What is what is the second group then? What should we do after admin? What are the things here. As we are creating employee, let me create a HR. No, actually I want to create an employee group. So yes, yeah, we have two. Yes, this is good. This is good. This is good. So now what I will do is I will create another user actually. Host, body, groups. I want to do two, and a name. What I want to do. Sorry, not name. Actually, username. It will be employee one, and password. I don't know. Not admin actually. He is just an employee. And I don't want to do anything. Let me see if I can create or not because it requires password. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is wrong actually. I should not create like this. Let me create via command line itself. Python manage.py create user. Mm, Let me create super user. Fine. User. What do you say? Username will be employee one. Username okay already taken. Employee two. Email address I don't want to give. Password will be something this, and password will be something again. Yeah, fine for now. Yeah. So I have given it right. So now let me get my users actually. Uh, I'm doing nothing, guys. I'm just creating some random users for our test data. I want to give our user three. Yeah, a group. Yes. Yeah. So I have created three users. I want, but this. Let's assume that there is no second user. I can delete it, but I don't want to delete it, as I hate delete operations. And that's it. Yeah. So I have created, let's say, two users. One was in group one, and one was in group two. So what does group one and group two means? According to our table was, let me refresh this also. Yeah. First one was admin, second one was employee. So this is the groups. Now, yeah. So we have divided users into these groups also. We can do this via here also. See these groups. Okay, I haven't, what do you say? Added it. So how do I added it? Add it. Does anyone know? Guys? Okay, fine. I think I am forwarding something. I am forwarding something. Mm. Yeah, my bad. Yes, that's what I forgot. Well, let me. I don't want to use this first. It is a wrong way. That. Here you can see. What are the groups do you want to add that you can do, and you can add multiple also. That depends upon you guys. So this is just I just want to what do you say show it in here, and another one was this one. I want to delete this one. The password is plainly stored, as I'm sure. And here you can see there are so many things. What can user permissions is that? But we don't want to mess with them because we should not do that. We are going to via real good, and let me make it this super user status. Save. So what is error? Okay, these are fine. Yeah, mobile. Yeah. So up to now, I haven't done much. Actually, I just created some dummy users, which you can also do, and I have registered this user model and admin site. If you want to, you can, explore on this actually. If you want to, you just need to admin.site.register and your model, which will automatically here. I think you guys know a bit about this. That's why I'm not going into it because I want to cover one more topic by today, which was groups. So now this is our views. Up to now, you are able to understand, right? What is this is authenticated, guys? Is there any doubt regarding this one? Is authenticated. What does this line is doing here?
Yeah.
So, what about remaining guys? Any question? Because this is really important line, which I'm going to extend actually now, guys.
It's clear, sir.
It is sorry. It is clear, right? Or
Yes, sir.
okay. So now, so this is what I said. It is already provided by REST framework. Now, in most of the cases, we are going to write our own permission classes. Now, let me tell you how to do it. Actually, that is a very easy thing, but have a huge effect on your project. Now, I am going to create one file in users, which is called permissions from REST framework dot permissions import base permission. So let me directly go into base permission, which is in Django code actually. Let me show you which file is this. You just need to toggle breadcrumbs. Here you can see this is our library and REST framework permissions, base permission. So by default, the base permission will have what do you say? All permissions. I mean, true as a permission, which means anything is okay for it. Base permission. So now we are going to change that a little bit. So what we are going to do is, you need not to go into details, but this is a working experience. I mean, working example was now you will create our own, what do you say? Yeah, own permission class. So now here you can see what I have done on DB level. On DB level, have two types of users actually. One was of group, yeah, one was of group 1 and another user was group 2. Now If I want to add groups, I mean, let's say here, what is a group one? Admin. And what is a group two? Employee. So any new creation of records in group should not be done by employee. It should be only done by admin. So how should I do that? Very simple, guys. First, def is admin only. I'm just a random name. It is anything fine. Or it should be a class actually. Class is admin only, which is going to be inherited base permission. Def, we have two things: has permission, has object permission. Normally you need not to mess with this has object permissions if you follow the proper flow. So has permission means, is the user having or not? Has object permission is certain object has this permission or not of certain action, which you need not to worry about this actually most of the time. But this one has permission is the most important thing, and I want you to write maintain standards. Allow only admin to do actions. So now instead of doing direct return super permission, which will be true, what will I do was, if request, I am getting here request dot user dot groups dot filter id in, or what do you say, name in admin exists, return true, return false. I'll show you. I'll don't need to worry. I will let you know what is happening here also. No need to worry about here. One was users here. This is working fine. Okay. Oh, I am so sorry. Here I have to do was from users dot permissions and import my custom permission is admin only. And here I'll do is admin only actually. Nice. Let me get the token for third person. Which will be what? Employee 2, and password was employee itself, right? Yeah, I got a token. Pass this authorization. Here you can see this is 4.3 forbidden. You do not have permission to perform this action. So this employee 3 is belonging to employee group, but he doesn't belong to this admin group. So that's why he doesn't have any permission to list these things. Now let me tell you what is happening here so that you will also understand. So whenever I'm calling this is admin only, I mean, whenever I'm declaring this is admin only as this permission class, so it will go here, and request dot user will contain what? Guys, here I need I really need some response.
Request object.
Request dot user, sorry, request dot user. What does request dot user contains?
User object.
User object. So let's go to the user object. So in user, what I'm doing? Groups. Here, groups, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this groups is nothing but multiple objects of this group,
Group.
right? Here, this group, if you see the response, JSON response here of these users, let me just make these users. Here you can see they have groups of multiple objects. These are objects, you can say, groups of multiple objects. So here, so this is like what? A query set. I am filtering if name is there, here this much of is necessary actually, unnecessary. Filter name equal to admin. I'm just asking if there is a, if this, for this user, is there any group that has name equal to admin or not? Did exist means nothing but just if that exists or not. So if the user has a group which has a name admin, I'm returning true, else false. If I'm returning true means the user is okay to proceed, I mean to do that action. If I'm returning false, I'm saying that this user is not allowed to do this operation, which is why it is giving 403. So yeah, so in detailed explanation, that is what is happening. So let me give a small brief summary. So here I'm saying this request object, I am having this user. So in this user, I'm having these groups. So this groups is nothing but a query set of the groups that this user contains. Okay, this is a complex. Let me break it down a little bit. This user have some groups. This groups is nothing but a query set for this group model. So I am filtering, I mean there can be multiple groups assigned for single user, such as admin, employee, HR, or tech lead, or executive, or any fresher, anything, or notice period guy, or probation period guy. There are several groups. You can create whatever the groups you want. So there are so many groups. In this groups, is there any group called name, I mean admin? I'm just searching for it. So if the user contains any group called admin, then I'm returning true. Else, I'm returning false. Is this any clear?
Yeah, clear,
Yeah,
sir.
clear.
Is this clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm reducing this a little bit more. So what does this exist return? Boolean, right? If the
Yeah,
name,
Boolean.
yeah, if the name, if there is an admin role or admin group is assigned for this user, it will return true. If there is no admin group assigned for this user, it will return false, which is what we return. I mean, which is what we want. So we need not to explicitly mention this. You can use that boolean itself. I just need to return the boolean value that is returning by exist. This will also do the same. Yes. So is this clear? What this line do?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it seems very simple two-line things, but this is what do most of your authorization tasks. This is why we are following this REST framework, because it will make your life very easy. And if you go into views, here you can see I just need to say that this function or this view set should need this is admin only permission to move on, I mean to go on or to do any action. So is this clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I have one more small thing. I'll do this and I'll end the class. So here also authentication, okay, this is fine, but normally the way that you have to do was, so instead of, if you know that okay, we are checking for user, right? We are checking for groups of one user, which means user has to be authenticated. So instead of inheriting from the base permission, you can directly inherit it from is authenticated. So it will safely check if the user is authenticated or not, and then only it will check the user, I mean groups. So this is what you can say a clean code. Everything works, but this is called clean code. So it is always better, I mean whatever you are writing, for each word you have to understand everything, then only you are able to do whatever you want. So this will also this will also do the same thing, but this is much more cleaner and more production ready. So is this clear, guys? Whatever we have discussed up to now. Guys,
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
So I'm pushing whatever I've done today. So now I want you to create a permission class for employee only. If I am able to log in via admin or what do you say, admin, as an admin, I have to restrict him. No admins are allowed, but only employees are allowed. Can you do that? That is your small task today. This is very important, guys. If you don't understand anything, you can directly email me. Uh, and I want you have extra focus on this actually. This seems very simple, yeah, and I think this is very simple. If you want an extra assignment was try to, let's say for post request, I don't want any restriction for, but remaining requests, I want only employees or authenticated persons can access that. That is an extra assignment that we will discuss tomorrow also. But if you want to go, ahead of mile, try that. That is really a cool thing that I have tried recently in my production application. Don't think that it is just a waste of time. Have done that. So I will give the requirement. First one, this is mandatory, was try to create an employee permission class. Second one was not mandatory, but really good. Post post request should allow no authentication, no auth, but remaining requests such as get or patch anything should only allow auth users, which means authenticated users. This is really good thing actually. It came as one only, but fine. So this is really good thing if you want to. So I can give a hint here. I just want to give one hint, which is on view set here. So instead of using permission classes, you have to go with permission, get permissions. This method, you have to do something in this method and try to do this. You can read documentation, you can refer anywhere you want, but try to do this. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Any questions, any follow-up questions, anything that you don't understand? Guys,
Hey Pradeep, can we do all this in Django admin website?
Django admin website.
Yeah,
Okay. Like what you're
like
saying?
setting permissions for the users. Like you did the admin only permission authentication.
Okay, that you're saying. But you have to define on view set, right? What permission that it should be followed. I mean, you can set permissions, you can set groups on the admin panel itself, but you have to define what groups or what permissions should be there on view set level. Have used these permission classes, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that one. Are you asking that one only, or are you saying that can we assign groups to user on admin panel?
Yeah, groups to the user.
Yeah, that we can do via admin panel. Let me just share my screen. I also pretty sure. So this is the admin panel, right?
Yeah.
So here you can see. Okay, I have stopped. Okay, let me just restart it first. Python manager. So if you see here, so this is the admin panel, right?
Yeah.
So for this user to be visible, you have to register it via admin panel. This is, I assume that you know.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just comment this out. I don't want this to be here, but okay. So yeah, you have registered your thing here, model here, and you go here, and whatever the, let's say I want to change here. Here you can see the employee is currently selected. If you long press control and simultaneously do things, you can unselect or deselect multiple things, right? And you just save. So it automatically save. You can see, you can assign this one. This will automatically filled up because we are doing many to many relationship on model level. So it will automatically come whenever a new group is created. It will automatically will be there here. So you need not worry about it, right? Is this clear? Just
Yeah,
save.
yeah, brother.
This is what you want, right? Or am I mistaken?
Yeah, this is what I'm asking.
Oh yeah, you can do it from admin panel itself. But I mean, you can do it here, but try to do via API also, because that is where you have to be more focused on. I mean, for the education purpose, you can also do it here. You can also do it via API. If you want to, you can do it on both sides. Try to do via API side also, because that is where you have to more focused on when you are doing REST APIs. But it is fine anywhere. You can do anywhere. Any other questions? Okay, is everything clear for what we have done up to now?
Yeah, clear.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Yeah. So I have pushed the changes to this Git repo. I hope you guys have this Git repo. Whatever I have done, you can take that as a what you say reference. So up to now, I have only maintained a production grade quality code. So you can blindly follow it whatever I have done. I mean the architecture and everything. And yes, this is how we do. And yeah, please try to complete those two assignments also. That is really required. And that's it from my side. If you have no doubts, you can drop off.